Anybody cuss, it's on.
Hey, this has been,
Nothing.
So I'm back, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
hey, if I could, please, please, you're sending that to me. Stay on it. Also in your packet is the, well, wait, missed one. Here you go. You're a messy girl together.
Well, I don't have much time. I get all kinds of stuff
Do you have any questions I want to have in your packet?
now. Before too long.
I think I read it. I didn't have this one.
This is all my stuff.
Dawn, did you have any questions I want to gave this morning on that, in that packet?
Not a bit.
Back.
Actually, some of it already looked at.
Well, I just didn't know if you wanted hard copy,
Yeah.
when you have presenters.
That's fine.
Welcome back, Connie.
Yeah. I'd like to be back in the sunshine. How long, haze.
Samantha, did you have any questions on anything on that?
There it is. Here's your spoon.
Get your agenda too.
Yeah.
This time, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Preston County Commission. Today is June 29th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show that all three commissioners are present. Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Thomas, Commissioner Stone. I do not see anyone from the public to be recognized. Am I missing anyone that is signed up? All right, take a review of the bills.
At this time, I would like to move to approve the bills. To pay the bills as have been properly presented and reviewed. I will second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded to pay the bills as they have been properly presented and approved. Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
yes. Next up, we have tax correction list, quite lengthy tax correction list.
Yes, this is a list that has been compiled for several months. I went close to the books and found the errors. A lot of them were clerical or taxpayer errors, few clerical errors. Some of them were reverse agglomeration, as you can see, not the large ones, but they were minerals that the state
Right.
didn't value correctly. So they amount to about $3,000, $3,902.50.
3,000.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the tax correction list as presented by the assessor.
I'll second the motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the tax correction list as it has been presented by the assessor in the amount of $3,902.50. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
yes.
Thank you.
These are,
You have to also.
Portions.
These go with this, right?
Yes.
All right.
And enforcement.
All right, next we have an apportionment that we need to,
Yeah, this is for Chester S. and Melissa H. Kitchen, separation of tax bills for divorce decree.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this as enforcement for vicious.
Oh, second motion.
it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the notice of apportionment for Chester and Melissa Fidget. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. Thank
You, while you're here, Connie,
you. Hold on 1 second. So finish this up here.
Dee, you dropped your pen.
Today's the 29th, right?
29 reps, or out into July. Crazy, crazy.
This one's the longest signature. Somebody here today, Dee Dee?
Yeah,
She's in the office, she's not here. Oh,
she has,
I talked to her last night, she said she'd see me tomorrow.
She's not there yet.
well, she has to go down to the election center to get that ready for the meeting. At 1.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right, she will need to sign this. All right, moving along. Before we come into our first appointment, I'd just like to take a quick moment and introduce our new county administrator. He is here today. This is Nate Roybeck. Nate, you can say hello to everyone. How are you? He'll officially be starting July 1. So welcome and thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move along with our 9:31 appointment. We have Justin Wolf with his 2023-24 annual salaries.
If I could, Commissioners, we will, these will be included, remember we have a revised schedule for the ones I presented, because I've got that vacancy for you all. So these will be included when we do those, so we would accept those all at
Okay.
one. I didn't know if you had questions for Justin.
Yeah, we can,
Okay, at this time, I would like to move that we go into executive session for personnel matters.
it's been properly moved and seconded to go into an executive session for county commission personnel. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Could I just make it, I don't know what, I don't know what you have on your schedule. I don't know how long this is gonna take, but you do have appointments of people,
Oh,
and they're pretty close together, so you might want to hold your, can you stick around, Justin? Go ahead and clear up these matters with appointments that are not internal, so that these people could go back to work.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably.
Let's go back out of executive session.
I just beg for forgiveness on your motion and go ahead and take your appointments.
That's true.
We did go over. Okay.
Yeah, now we are.
No, we're
We're
not
gonna
going
vote
into
later.
executive session. All right, sorry about that. All right, we have Dennis Pearson, Mayor of Reedsville, with Transportation Alternatives Grant Request Funding.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we get into that, I just want to thank the commission for some of the previous funding you've allocated to Reedsville. Give you a quick update on what we've done with that. Last year, you awarded $37,500 for a sewer project that we have. Since then, we've hired Test Engineering to assess 3 of the neighborhoods that were in question as far as problem areas. They have compiled some of their data, sent that back to us. We found some simple violations that were easy to fix as far as downspouts being hooked up and stuff. So those things have been addressed and we're moving forward with that, waiting on some of their larger findings to come back. but that money is being pointed in the right directions. A couple weeks ago, you guys gave us $1,720 to purchase an ADA picnic table for our park project. That has been ordered, should be here in a couple weeks. That money was also allowed us to save $350 in shipping. So, we're always trying to pinch pennies in Reedsville, like every municipality should, trying to make their dollars go as far as possible. You guys definitely helped us do that in the recent past. Again, thanks for those. A couple of things we have moving forward. We have the town hall project where we applied for a mansion and Capitol, both congressionally directed spending requests. We got word last week that request has passed the Senate Appropriations Committee, so we're moving forward with that. So we'll have a 20% match on that. We're requesting $311,000. If you've ever been to town hall in Reedsville, it's small and pretty inadequate. And if you haven't, come on by, we'll give you a tour. The lower part, we have some plans to develop that as well and improve the ADA compliance and things like that. So moving into what we're here for today, you're familiar with the post office annexation that we did last year as well.
Yes.
That brought that, I think we all learned a little something about simple or minor boundary adjustments. So we were able to bring Reedsville into town again, but that still left the problem of accessibility. There's no sidewalk along outside.
Yeah, we had actually talked about
Right.
going out there and trying to get a grant for that.
Yeah, so this came across our desk, and it seems like a viable option. And we can definitely put some money towards this. We're willing, this is a two-phase project, basically. Phase one is the planning and designing phase. It's estimated to be about $100,000 for that, and Reedsville's prepared to provide a 20% match for the planning stage. We feel like that's the riskiest part, really, but if we have the plan in place, then we can apply for funding as it comes along. Phase two, once the plan is awarded or gathered, we'd apply for the construction phase. With everything that has increased the past few years, and some of the added stipulations for things that the construction would need as far as guttering and curbing along the Route 7, it's estimated to be about a $500,000 construction loan. Obviously, that's a bigger chunk than we had anticipated when we tried to do this.
Could be more than that, you're saying.
It could be. So what we're asking for is for the commission to partner with Reedsville, and for the 20% that we'll be obligated to pay $100,000, we're asking the commission to partner and provide 40% of that match for
So
that.
40% of the 20%.
Yes.
20% of 500,000.
No.
No.
It'll be 100,000 as things stay the same, but I'm anticipating.
We're
probably
talking
closer to
design.
$150,000 by the time it's really approved, probably be closer to $150,000. So 40% of that,
Correct.
which would be 60. Gotcha.
Yeah.
$60,000.
But as it is right now, it's 40 now.
Right.
Yeah, and these are early, our early estimates were closer to 350,000 and
So between $40,000 and $60,000.
Yes.
I'm anticipating
Yeah.
with the commission.
And we need to, before we apply for that construction phase, we have to be able to provide assurance that we can make the match up front.
Okay.
So that's why we're asking for it in the 23-24 fiscal year.
Okay, that's what I was getting ready to ask you. So it'd be this, okay, gotcha. All right, that is something we'll have to discuss, because I don't see it being a problem with us. We've provided the letters in the past. We just have to make sure that we are able to find money in contributions or something like that, so we can cover it.
In some of these projects that you're looking for, sidewalk expansion and such, have you looked to any of the grant funding that's available through the Division of Highways? Because,
That's what this one is.
Yeah, it's what the county.
Yeah.
Bruce
Okay.
did.
all right, just making
It's
sure.
the transportation alternatives grant.
Do the sidewalks become DOA's property when you do that? Is that the?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I do
That's
not
how
think
Bruce-
they,
Well, that's
I'm
how
not sure.
Brewston is.
yeah, oh, they
Brewston
actually
belongs
do H to them?
Yeah.
I'm surprised, because normally the city would take that, because it is city.
It's inside.
Cities limits.
You're
But that's
after
something to check on, because in the future, not that it'll be made units anytime soon. Eventually, you hope, anyway.
Hopefully I'm not.
Hopefully, there's no units in the next 15 years, but nonetheless, if there is, that's something,
I think that you would want to call Mary Nine with the town of Preston, the sidewalks up Morgantown Street, which is technically the main street. That was DOH funding, and then they're going up to the fire hall at city limits up Union Street, and they're doing that project this summer, and that's DOH too.
But yeah, okay, so, yeah, you're just gonna need the letter from us, and like I said, we've done that before for parks and for the parks and rec and other construction, right? All stuff.
And that, the construction phase. is
But that gives us
obviously-
time to find the money. by that
So
time.
Reidsville has the 20% match for the 100,000 in phase one.
Right.
Phase two, the construction loan phase, looking at $500,000. And your request is that the commission do 40% of the 20% match required, which would equate to $40,000.
As the money.
That's
Correct with those
So-
numbers, yes.
Yes, so I think we have all the information we need unless you have some other information that you want to give.
Not at this time.
Okay, and we certainly appreciate that, and we can look into this in the future. Of course, we've had a lot of money flowing, but it's
Well, you can always add to it.
getting less and less and less what we have to give. So at this time, we have had no commitment to give out any additional funding because of our building and our needs that we must take care of on here at the county commission level. But we'll certainly look and see, what there is available and if anything, and we will let you know.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we will go ahead and move along. Apologize for running just a tick late. Shows that we have Rochelle Thorne, but I do not see her. So we have the next best thing, Preston County Parks and Recreation, asking for letters of support and resolution, West Virginia Northern Rail Trail Project grant application. Good morning.
Good morning. So Rochelle just sent me along today just to get an updated letter of support for any of our new grants and things that we're going through and all those things.
Those have been provided
Yep.
by email, and you have a hard copy this morning.
Unless there's any discussion, I don't have any problem. with
Well,
that.
I think we could just have him briefly just update everyone here on the project.
Just as a whole, got my other crew here that probably give even more details and things. We want to get that remaining 7 miles done in between here and Tunnelton. We got the mile on that end that we're still getting, that project is still continuing this summer to finish up the things that we were giving money on last year. And so that mile is, we want to get that mile completely complete with all the extra projects and things going on the Tunnelton end. And then, like I said, we definitely want to get that 7 miles in between. It would be great to have that done because, I spend a lot of time on the Deckers Creek Trail and see the use that gives. And it would just bring so much here to get that finished. But again, it's a big project, but like I said, we're constantly battling for that all the time to try to get more funds grant wise. In the end, we'd love to have, a second person to assist Rochelle for our many fundraisers for all of our things that we do, an assistant to our executive director, and then eventually, we need a maintenance person, to fund that as well. But that's all in our long-term goals when we see, as we're getting further along.
So these, letters of support, do they go to a specific grant or they just?
As of right now, I don't believe so. I think they're more general, just so that they can,
use
Rochelle
them
is just going through everything.
It gives them an opportunity to be forward-thinking, and when a grant becomes available, they already have the support.
That way they're not
That's
waiting
correct.
until the last second.
That's
Which was
correct.
great, because when she sent them to us, there was no date on it, so I assumed it was for future.
Right.
Instead of
Yeah.
waiting until like, oh my God, we gotta put a grant in next week.
What kind of grants are you going after?
Anything that she can find, yes. So, yeah, she's awesome at that.
They've, in the past,
Yeah.
got money from DOH, well, Department of Transportation, I guess, to say it, and a little some of the other. I know that one comes right to my memory right off the gate.
That's the
I
biggest
think
one.
it was some
Hazel
AML, where
Ruby
you guys
McLean.
had tried to chase after before,
Yeah.
and things like that. So,
We've got things from Hazel Ruby McLean. that we've done a few times.
Yeah, that was the other one. And
Small
also,
things.
I mean, you guys did good in getting the, T-Mobile.
Yeah, we got
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile for the
grant.
park.
So I mean,
Things. So,
you went out there
Yeah.
and snatched money where they could, so.
yeah, that's why, so Michelle's awesome at that. She's our grant person. That's why having somebody to assist on our smaller projects and get any of our fundraiser things going. We used to have somebody that was under her before that, and during that year, things were flying by amazingly. So that's why, like I said, that would be great to have that in the future. That's
I was
you
by
might see us
the-
again.
Yes, I was by the new trailhead site there on 72 yesterday, and now that everything's greening up and growing, it just looks amazing. And the new signage is out at the road, identifying where you pull in, and it looks really great if you've not seen it yet.
Awesome, that's a cheap place.
So, all right, well, we have a resolution of support that is endorsing the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail project here in Preston County. So we'll need a motion with endorsing this resolution of support and authorizing the commission to sign the letter of support to Preston County Parks and Recreation for the grant application.
There should be 2 motions.
Yes.
All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we have a resolution to support endorsing the West Virginia Northern Rail Project, Rail Trail Project in Preston County.
I will second the motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded to sign a resolution of support endorsing the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail project here in Preston County. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes.
yes. And we will sign this, but I guess I can go and read it. Whereas officials of Preston County Commission consider bicycle and pedestrian transportation to be of the utmost importance to the region by providing the region with recreation and transportation opportunities, as well as possibilities of economic and community development. And whereas Preston County Parks and Recreation is a government entity formed by the Preston County Commission that will oversee the development and maintenance of the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail. And whereas Kern Valley Railroad Company conveyed the 10.3-mile West Virginia Northern Corridor from Tunnelton to Kingwood to Preston County Parks and Recreation in 2015. And whereas plans for the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail project consist of transforming the former West Virginia Northern Railroad bed into a 10-foot wide trail that can be used for a number of non-motorized outdoor recreational activities such as hiking, biking, jogging, walking, geocaching, and bird watching. And now, therefore, be it resolved that Preston County Commission hereby endorses the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail project and will provide assistance when available and needed for the duration of the project. Adopted this 29th day of June, 2023. And this will also require the clerk's signature.
A deputy clerk could actually sign that.
Next, we have the letters, or the letter of support
Okay.
for the Parks and Rec grant application for the Northern Rail Trail
At
project.
this time, I make a motion that we approve and sign this letter of support for the Preston County Parks and Recreation.
I will second the motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve and sign the letter of support for PC Park and Recreation for the West Virginia Northern Rail Trail project. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. Dee Dee, did you want to sign those? Can you sign it?
The one,
She can-
this one.
Yeah, just this one. And we can make copies and they can have their. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And when she has your copies, if you want to be done, you can, and if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome. I know you guys are all very busy. All right, next we have Karen Carrillo, Daughters of the American Revolution, permission to use our annex lower parking lot with the wreaths across America.
Yeah, when we organized the Two River chapter two years ago here in Preston County, we decided to bring wreaths across America to a local cemetery. And we used Maplewood Cemetery, and we had only been organized for just a couple of months, but we were able to put about 60-some wreaths on the graves. Since then, we were the first group in Preston County to even bring wreaths across America. Now they are doing them in Terrata and Mason Town, and it has spread.
I think I saw an Aurora also.
Yes, and
Yes.
Aurora, yeah, we did that one,
Yeah.
yeah. Forgot that. So we have been approved to bring in a mobile education exhibit for wreaths across America. Part of two of our goals are education and patriotism. So this mobile education unit explains more about wreaths across America and the sacrifices that people have made, for our country. So we kind of got a late notice that they were coming. I'm going to hand you guys these. And so we are looking for a space to hold it, and it's a like a big van, and I think it kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
she gave us some pictures.
Okay, good. So it does require a decent amount of space.
1,500.
Yeah, and we wanted it somewhere where there would be a lot of traffic so that it would be, visible, and we really like the idea that it would be close to Veterans Memorial. So we were wondering if we could use just the very bottom of your annex parking lot. It kind of shows you there, and we kind of stepped it off and
My apologies. Are you needing the 30 amp hookup?
No. They have a generator.
yeah,
That generator is what's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but they have to be able to run
they
it.
have to have a generator. They're just saying that everything's 30 amp,
Oh,
that's why they have to run a generator. They've already got a
I
hardwire.
see that now. Okay.
But we figured that we could, if we put it close to the building, the old drive-through, there would still be, all the parking spaces would still be available.
That's
They could
probably the
still-
most level part of
And
that.
it's, yeah, so we are just asking for permission to get that so that we can get it advertised. It's scheduled to come here,
What is that date?
July 13th. It's a Thursday. And it does not come to West Virginia very often. In July, it's going to Virginia, Texas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kentucky, like a couple of different places in all those towns, or all those states, and Kingwood. So we are, the one and only here in West Virginia, and just to bring it to Preston County to raise awareness of our veterans, we would just like permission.
How long is the event going to last?
We have it scheduled from 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 p.m., just 1 to 7.
Just that one evening.
Yeah, yes.
I'll see.
Hey, Karen, the only thing is in the positioning of it, if we would have to utilize the building.
Okay,
Okay, we would have to situate
So we
it so that you could still get and utilize that building.
okay,
And
okay.
you just have to be slid closer to the
Yeah.
trees.
And there's plenty of
Yeah.
room, so, but we just hope that you guys would approve that.
Nothing going on that would need extra parking from the judge.
And I'm sorry, what was the days again?
The 13th of July.
13th.
Not that I'm aware of at this time, that's not a grand jury or anything like that. Like I said, we just have to be able to
To be in the
access
middle
that
of the month, it's
building.
not like there's gonna be
And-
overload parking where people come in and pay taxes and things like that, and registration on their vehicles. So
Is there any kind of insurance for the event or?
That's a good question. I'm sure that they have all that covered. I can double check, but, they, like I said, they go across the United States. They're very organized and, yeah.
Well, if you could just let
I'll
me know.
double check that, and let Kathy know.
Yeah, one suggestion that I might have is to look in on, if you're hosting the event, if you all have insurance, that we're an additional insured. And that's only because when you're hosting an event, that liability issue, someone would fall or something like that. So if you look into additional insured, just to see if they do that,
You
okay?
Okay.
guys have your own insurance, so others in there.
We don't, our national does.
So
though,
if you
I'll
just check with them.
Yeah,
See if that,
have many transition after.
or our state, we have state organizations.
Okay, well, I have no problem with it as long as we can figure the insurance stuff out. Okay, well, at this time, I would like to approve the Daughters of the American Revolution's, request for permission to use the annex lower parking lot for, the Reefs Across America.
July 13th.
The Reefs Across America, what would you call it?
It's the mobile
Display.
education exhibit, yeah.
Mobile display, July 13th, from 1 to 7 p.m.
Yeah, so.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the request for the use of the lower annex parking lot, July 13th, which is a Thursday, for Daughters and their event.
Thank
The
you.
mobile display. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Hope y'all come.
All right.
If you could go ahead and do that, there's some specific-
Okay.
All right, take approval of the minutes.
At this time, I would like to approve the minutes for May 23rd, 2023.
I'll second that.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes for May 23rd, 2023. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes. State settlements?
At this time, I would like to approve the state settlement list for June 16th, 2023 through June 16th, 2023 for Neil P. Walgett.
No, I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the estate settlement list, June 16th, 2023 through June 16th, 2023 for Neil P. Walden. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes. PIBs?
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the reading of the proceedings vacation and open court session and approve them for the dates of and set them in the record actually for June 15th through the 21st.
I will second that motion.
It's been properly moved and seconded to dispense with the readings of the proceedings in vacation and open court session and enter them into record for June 15th through June 21st, 2023. Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. Nothing under the fiduciary commissioner report, no old business at this time, which brings us to our new business. Actually, I'm presenting this today. We have been asked to do a letter of support for our Alyeska Incorporated Ambler application. Big Bear Lake Camplands has been working hard over the last several years. And in my tenure as a commissioner to work towards getting a water line, PSD4, to expand through Big Bear Lake. They have received some support from the trail network because of a lot of the activities that are going on up there from one of their grant writers. And they are partnering and going for abandoned mine land economic revitalization money. So an Ambler grant is what they're looking for, asking for funding through that grant from the West Virginia DEP. It's a very good project. It would really mean a lot to that area and Big Bear Lake. They have a lot of activities that, Connie, you probably have been to some of the stuff up there with the biking.
Oh, yes.
So you could probably speak to it better than I do.
And they housed the 24-hour race, the bike race years ago, and have done much with their mountain biking trails up there.
50 miles.
Yeah.
They probably are the first that actively started pursuing bicycling.
Yes. And they're partnering with not only PSD4, the Mountaineer Trail Network, Recreation Authority, and Prodigy as well. It's really making a process, a clear path to receive funding, to be ready to receive funding for this project, which makes sense because there is abandoned mines there.
And the draw there with campers is
Massive.
increased so much since
Mhm.
2020.
And from some of the information that I've been reading upon that, this brings, in excess of 64,000 additional people when to the county. It's, you know, when,
And Memorial Day.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Yes, yes, they
And
have.
it'd be a wonderful project. I think that definitely, you know, although we can't financially get behind something like that, a letter of support to go after, this, AMLR, grant money be very beneficial to a project like that, so.
Since they have 50 miles of bike trails.
50 miles, yeah. So,
At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we approve and sign this letter of support for the bill.
I will second the motion.
it's been properly moved and seconded to approve and authorize the commissioners to sign this letter of support to Governor Justice and the DEP for the AMLR grant, the 2023 application. Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. I know they have several large events coming up there. I was speaking with Mark Schooley. July 15th is one of the largest of the year that they'll have going on up there, so.
They actually, I believe it's the first Saturday in July, they have golf cart poker runs out there, and they're raising money for the Preston Rainville Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah,
They have a lot of stuff going on up there. They actually have territories within Big Bear,
yes,
and each of them put on these poker
yeah,
runs,
they have the,
to raise money for local nonprofits.
there's that letter. All right, Kathy, we made it down to new business.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Will you have your facilities manager report, then you have the executive session?
Yes,
and
let's
then you
hear
have
from
my-
Joe, and then we'll go into an executive session. I believe Joe will meet him for a portion of that executive session, so.
Perfect, yes. So good morning, Commissioners, and good morning, everybody, really quickly. Down in the annex basement on Connie's side, the hot water tanks, well, they're actually the boilers, have been dripping this winter, and I promised Ms. Connie faithfully, when the boiler season was over, that we would get them repaired. So if the Commissioners doesn't object, I have a quote from Import to repair that. And also a quote from them for over in the courthouse in the chief probation officer's office. The air conditioner and heating unit has been causing trouble for quite some time. Last fall, I was able to get the heat to work through the winter. This spring, when it's air conditioning time, the little valve that actually up in there, that controls the amount of cooling she gets broke. So it would have to be repaired one way or another, but we think, that I would advise the commission, the best way is just to replace the whole unit, so we get the coil fan, the valves, everything. So to replace the unit is $8,400.
Which unit are we talking unit? I want to make sure.
I'm sorry, so
That's
at
the
the
HVAC unit?
HVAC unit, yes, sir, at Crystal's office is $8,400. And to repair the leaking boiler, there's two lines that are leaking, they're dripping on the floor down in Connie's basement, is $2,100. And then, on a different quote from a different contractor, as you all may have been made aware of it, in the annex server room down in the basement, it has been very hot for a long time. The IT folks has suggested that we get a air conditioning unit in there that would cool it down. It's also the main electrical room for the building, for the annex as well. So we got a quote from Casto to put that air conditioning unit in, and it is $8,400.
So we have two 8,400 quotes
Yes.
and a 2,100.
Yes, we have.
They're all under our
Yes,
threshold.
yes.
So that you
And then
so
just-
So
you think
also,
those are decent.
so also I'd like to also mention to the commissioners that these two companies was very kind to come and bid on the big courthouse chiller project. And although they did not get the bid, it's always, as the commission wants me to always bring at least 3 quotes on a big job. And these companies is very kind to the commission to come and bid on those jobs. So I believe that they
That it's
both.
the best to go with.
Yeah, I think they both saved the commission a lot of money on the big chiller project because they kept them on last year. So the commission appreciates them making the bid, and I appreciate it. And I think this is just, and they are great bids for the repairs that we needed. So I think it's a win-win all the way around.
And I forget, how much was it if we just fixed the station unit? It was 32.
30.
Yeah. So here is the HVAC for the.
What's your recommendation, Joe? Repair or
All
replace?
I'm sorry, I would repair it, so that we have all the
You
new
mean-
parts.
You replace.
I would replace. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's right.
I would replace, to get the whole new unit, and that way, you get a lot more stuff, you get the new coils, you get new fans, you get, there's a lot of stuff that can still go wrong, and if we piecemeal it, we're just gonna probably be kicking the can down the road,
That one in the server room, I mean, that really makes
Yeah.
sense because
Well,
that's,
that-
that
that makes
equipment
sense.
and the electrical, I mean, that
Yes.
generates a lot of
Heat,
extra.
You're exactly
well,
right.
heat destroys electrical.
And
Exactly.
computer, the server that.
It will burn, that's the big killer of.
Then the third one is the hot water.
Yes, the
correct?
boilers
In the
for the
basement.
annex, they're the boilers that heats the whole annex, and they're in her section.
All
Probably.
right,
Do we need we don't need a vegetable.
No, we don't need those.
He's gonna move
Just go
we just
forward.
gotta move forward.
Just go forward and get it forward.
I
You've got the
say
quotes around there, the
replace.
Yeah,
Replace.
and I think
threshold.
that,
Replace, repair, and replace.
this'll get rid of a lot
Is
of
there
problems.
quotes, will be contracts? Will be a contract?
He-
Something?
I'm sorry.
These-
So also,
Yeah.
These are quotes.
Also,
we
I would
want
like to-
sign the quotes. This is just authorized work to move forward.
Yeah, authorize them.
also, I would like to mention to the commissioners that when we become customers of these two companies, of course, we're a customer with H.E. Newman, but we will now be customers with two more
Gives you-
quality HVAC companies.
Gives you contacts.
Yeah, and now we will be on the customer list, and they will, if in fact there is a big type of emergency, they will hopefully come much quicker. Also, I'd like to mention to the commissioners that these companies all of them have Preston County employees. So this is even helpful to the, the citizens of Preston County, but they're actually like, MCOR has Mr. Nyman out of Brewston, Casto has several, Masontown, Bellisville, Tunnelton type of people. So they're citizens of the county that we're helping these companies and will be, normal customers now in the event of emergency. So also, really quickly, Panhandle, as you all may have saw, is back at the sheriff's office, thank goodness. The fire marshal report is in, and it is into the insurance, Ms. Alexander at the insurance company. So hopefully that there is a contract coming quickly. We have been working closely with Panhandle to help them in any way possible during this interim period to keep progress moving now that they're back. And one other quick report at the courthouse, we have been making our way towards moving up on the third floor, Lisa Leishman's office. And we are here to report that finally that we have successfully completed the move as of yesterday morning sometime. So we went back and got the ceiling tiles changed and all that. We ran the communication wires, and IT Mindshare successfully put the ends on yesterday. So I think Ms. Leishman has finally moved after it seemed like a long period of schedules.
Okay. A couple questions. Have you got the official report back from the, for the mold testing yet?
We have not got the official report back for the test.
Okay.
Joe was, if I could, speak to mold. He did call late last evening and reported that, I think that was a miscommunication. I think that he was doing some research for us on, a maintenance solution. And so he thought we wanted it all. So I asked him to forward the report. You do have some mitigation that you need to do over there. So I asked for the quote and also the report, so that you have that. And I think it was a miscommunication with that particular gentleman,
Recommendations.
because he was reaching out to his colleagues about a permanent solution, so that mitigation didn't have to be done again. We fought this for 20 years, so he was going to give us an opinion. And I think that's what happened there. Also, he'll provide us a schedule, because the work that they're going to do will probably be on a weekend when you don't have any employees there. So I think it was just a miscommunication, and I didn't have a chance to speak to Joe about it.
Okay. All right.
And then, after we get his recommendations, I'd like to have a
Sure.
work session or something to discuss what we're going to do.
We just need to see what his cost is, and then I think we go
We
ahead,
have to move forward.
yeah, to get that mitigated. And however, I do think that for a long-term solution, we might need to have some dialogue.
Okay, all right. Well, we have an executive session that we're gonna go into, and we'll need a couple different people in and out.
Okay, well, at this time, I move that we go to executive session for Preston County Commission personnel matters.
And properly moved and seconded to go into executive session for personnel, commission personnel.
Okay.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yes,
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
yes.
let's do Justin.
Justin will do you first.
Just because he's been waiting to.
You'll just give us a couple minutes, is that fine with you? All right, we need to stop that.
I got it.